One of the most visible impacts of climate change is the increase in extreme weather events. In 2023, we saw more frequent and severe hurricanes, typhoons, and cyclones than ever before.
We are on a highway to climate hell with our foot still on the accelerator.
Joe Biden's interest in the Brexit process, well, he's also made the fight against climate change one of his top priorities.
1% of the world's carbon emissions, but it suffers disproportionately from the climate change.
And the United Nations has released a key report on climate change.
In the lifespan of modern science, climate change is a relatively new concern.
These storms caused significant damage to infrastructure, homes, and businesses, displacing millions of people worldwide. Heat waves and droughts also became more common, leading to crop failures and water shortages in many areas. These extreme weather events are a result of increased temperatures and changing weather patterns caused by human-induced greenhouse gas emissions. Another consequence of climate change is rising sea levels. In 2023, we saw sea levels rise by several inches, leading to coastal flooding and erosion. Low-lying areas were particularly vulnerable, with some island nations facing the threat of complete submersion. Rising sea levels also put pressure on freshwater resources, as saltwater intrusion into rivers and aquifers made drinking water more scarce. This problem will only get worse in the coming years if we do not take decisive action to reduce our carbon emissions and limit global warming. Climate change is not only affecting humans, but also having a significant impact on wildlife. In 2023, we saw a decline in biodiversity as habitats were destroyed, and animals struggled to adapt to changing environments. Some species, such as polar bears and penguins, were particularly vulnerable to the effects of climate change, with their populations declining rapidly. Coral reefs, which provide habitat for a quarter of all marine life, were also severely impacted by warming ocean temperatures, leading to widespread bleaching and die-offs. While the impacts of climate change are daunting, there are many solutions available to us. In 2023, we saw a significant shift towards renewable energy sources, such as wind and solar power. Electric vehicles also became more common, reducing carbon emissions from transportation. Governments and businesses worldwide invested in sustainable infrastructure, and individuals made changes to their daily lives, such as reducing meat consumption and using public transportation. However, these efforts need to be accelerated and scaled up if we are to limit global warming to a level that avoids the worst impacts of climate change. Addressing climate change is a global challenge that requires international cooperation. In 2023, we saw a renewed commitment from governments worldwide to work together to address the issue. The United Nations Climate Change Conference was held in Glasgow, Scotland, where countries agreed on a new set of targets to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. This agreement was a positive step forward, but it will require continued cooperation and action to achieve these goals. In conclusion, climate change is having a significant impact on our planet in 2023. Extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and the decline of wildlife are just a few examples of the challenges we face. However, by taking action now, we can mitigate the worst effects of climate change and build a more sustainable future. This requires a coordinated effort from governments, businesses, and individuals worldwide. Let us all work together to make a difference for future generations.